All right, so first up, we have this brand new headset from Pico, which is unfortunately currently unavailable in the United States. Tragedy. The price for it is around what you would expect for a 512 gigabyte Meta Quest 3 headset. So it's around $700, at least in USD. The features of the device itself is 105 degrees of horizontal field of view, pancake lenses, 2K resolution per eye, 90 hertz refresh rate, 12 gigabytes of RAM, and 256 gigabytes of actual memory. Now, compared to the Quest 3 does have a little bit more field of view, and it does have a higher refresh rate of 120, but the RAM is only 8 gigabytes, and the cheaper version only has 128 gigabytes, but of course, the larger one that's more expensive has 512. It also has a larger library, which means there's probably more compatibility and more games that you can play with this headset. Now, as for the differences between the Pico 4 and this Ultra version, well, it's twice the RAM, but unfortunately, there's no face tracking, there's no eye tracking, still has hand tracking, but actually there's something else that's pretty interesting that comes with this kit. Are those body trackers? So there are actually two body trackers that come with this kit. They use infrared sensors to sense depth, kind of like cameras on Vive Ultimate trackers, but not exactly. They also use IMUs, of course, to track rotations. They're very light, 27 grams, around $130 for a pair. So it comes included with the Pico 4 Ultra kit, and they're 2 feet trackers only. Supposedly, according to Pico, they claim to accurately be able to track 24 points on the body with these trackers. So you should be able to put them on your feet, and it should track your knees, your elbows, your chest, and other points like that. Now, it's a little bit complicated. It's not exactly accurate as you would expect, but it does seem to work because it uses artificial intelligence, all that good stuff. But speaking of Meta, actually, there's a new Meta headset that we've been hearing about since 2017 called Project Tarius. You guys probably know it more as the Asus ROG VR headset. It's from a partnership between Meta and Asus. The price is not quite unknown, but it's supposed to have QLED with local dimming or a micro OLED display using Meta's third-party operating system, and it's expected to have face and eye tracking and hand tracking. So I would expect it to be around the price of the Quest Pro or the Vive Focus, so not quite as cheap as the other Quest headsets, but not as expensive as something like an Apple Vision Pro. The release date, we don't quite know yet, but it is expected to show up at the next CES event since it's been in development for so long. We also, speaking of CES, got a sneak peek of this sleek new headset called Project Moohan. This one is also called the Samsung XR. It's a really, really interesting headset. Actually, let's take a closer look at it. It looks like it's a higher end headset, like the Apple Vision Pro. So we're not talking about anything below $1,000. Like we're expecting $2,000 or more for this headset. The features, we don't quite know yet, mostly because the people who have had their hands on it weren't allowed to disclose a whole lot about it. But we do know that it does have hand tracking, and it does have the integration of Gemini, which is Google's sort of Apple Intelligence wannabe AI clone thing. And the battery pack that it comes with, it's also connected with a detachable USB-C cable, which lets you swap in any power bank, any battery pack of your choosing. So instead of having to plug things in and out of your headset, you can keep the really nice braided cable that comes with it, and you can plug it in directly to a different power bank, which is amazing. Now, the design and price is definitely, like I said, more akin to the Apple Vision Pro. So likely it's also going to share the face and eye tracking features from that headset. Now, it's not going to have the cool display on the front where it shows your eyeballs moving around, but it does have this magnetic lower plate that you can detach to shield off light from the bottom if you don't like it. And also the refresh rate is 90 hertz with an 120 hertz experimental mode. And we don't know about wired capability, but we do know that it works standalone and uses Android XR. for its operating system. So it's not Meta OS, it's not SteamOS, it's not Windows. It's standalone with Android XR, which means might see more Android headsets in the future. We don't know.